Trevor, you might be slightly out of focus. I know we're supposed to mute, but you look like a little hazy. Does he look hazy to you, Aaron?
I'll work on it.
I also just realized I was muted, so you didn't hear me say that.
Right. It's not terrible. It's just I was thinking it before I left, and then I came back, and right when I looked at it, I'm like, no, he's out of focus. Okay, but it's good now.
What's up and welcome to Champions of Lore, a show about all the kick-ass stories behind some of Idle Champions' coolest campaigns and characters. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/C&E Games, or later on your favorite podcast service, be it Dave Walters and Erin M. Evans talk about all the Idle Champions lore that's fun to know about. If you're here with us live in the chat, you can leave a question that I, Treavor Bettis, will ask them later in the show. But until then, Erin, be Dave, take it away.
Hi, I'm Erin M. Evans. I had to make sure my mic's not muted. I'm a content designer for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and I am also the author of the Brimstone Angels saga, 6-book series set in the Forgotten Realms that features 3 of your favorite Idle Champions Frida, Havilar, and Mehen.
Yeah.
Also play Cecilia on Dungeon Scrawlers.
It is I, B. Dave Walters. I had to make sure that I wasn't muted because I'm sure I'm gonna mess it up at least once. I say words about things all over the interweb where fine streaming content can be located. I'm creative director for Demiplane and lead developer for Into the Motherlands and all sorts of stuff that I forget to mention because I'm like, oh, that old thing that normally would take up all of a person's week. Yeah, no, sure, great, yeah.
What he definitely isn't is sleeping.
Definitely not one of 3 clones.
I mean, there are only 12 Cylon models, okay?
Number 2.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah. That guy, number 2.
Also, I will say for chat that it does seem that the dreaded desyncing of video and audio has infected this show as well. So bear with us. I don't know what the heck it is. I'm just going to start punching Zoom and XSplit until they work. So
I mean,
it's like we could use several powerful wizards to fix it.
I've yet to encounter a problem that violence couldn't solve. Here's the thing, you know, normally, I feel bad for our audio listeners, which is a valid way to consume our media, but they miss out gazing upon your beautiful faces. But this week, they're missing out on our Wes Craven-esque Hellraiser-ish sync of like lips moving to talking later. Yeah, this all happens because they brought Pinhead back for a video game.
They
I'm
did.
telling you.
They did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's because they invoked him. How dare they? In the same week they got rid of Stranger Things. That's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Agharon's Day and what, the original Blackstaff. So essentially we're back talking about Waterdeep a bit here. Agharon's Day is a holiday that I think is really only celebrated in Waterdeep.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense. It'd be weird if Neverwinter was like, yo, I love that lord in that other place.
Right. It's like celebrating President's Day in Belgium. Okay.
Like, do we get the day off at least? No? All right. Yeah, so who was Agaron? So
Agaron was a powerful wizard. He was the first open lord of Waterdeep. Way back in the day. He's the one who created the dragon ward that we talked about previously, which prevents dragons from entering Waterdeep uninvited without causing them severe distress, potentially causing allergies in Dragonborn. That's canon agnostic, but pretty cool. And also he is the one who created the dragon staff, which is the tool that lets you say, okay, dragon, beep, you're okay.
Oh, I didn't know that there was a dragon staff.
Oh yes, there's a dragon staff. It features prominently in the Godcatcher, and then I believe Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which might be his brother. I don't know.
Well, if it is, I totally missed that, and my players apparently didn't get that part of the story.
Fair enough.
He was. It says here in the wiki that he was born in 920 DR, which is like what? God, how long? 500 years?
500 years. You're 1490-ish is what it is.
So almost 600
until it isn't ish.
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah, he's been. Although, I mean, he's not still alive, even though I'm pretty sure he's dead, which still means he's not alive.
Yeah. I mean, in D&D, no one's really dead.
Right. Especially when you're a wizard.
Yeah. And it said that he was born on Midsummer's Night, which is an event that we just had. So, and that legend says that the symbol of Mystra was glowing in the sky at the time of his birth.
It's pretty handy if you're going to become a powerful wizard politician.
It's almost like Mystra was like dibs.
Almost like propaganda.
I mean, it's equal parts. I mean, Mistra's not known for her subtlety, so it's equally valid that it's just something you made up, that you're like, Mistra smiled upon me as I was born on a high holy day, or Mystra being like him over there. That one. I also feel like if you have the gall to be like, yep, Mystra totally put her sign in the air when I was born, and she didn't, she's going to have words with you.
That's true.
So maybe I do believe it.
She might have more than words with you if, based on the previous stories we talked about.
Words which are verbal components for spells.
But here's the thing. Is it even your fault if, like, you just grow up and people are like, Mystra, put a sign in the sky, and you're like, word? You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I kind of like the idea that Mystra was like, oh, wow, that wizard down there is doing some really cool stuff. You know, I'm going to put a symbol in the sky tonight so that he knows that I'm approving of it. And then someone's like, I just had a kid and was born under the symbol. She's like, that was actually
that's right. Everybody's under this sky.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, he's not the only kid born that night. The same way Neville Longbottom fulfills 100% of Harry Potter's prophecy. Like some other kid who's like, like a fishmonger's daughter grows up just believing she's the chosen one, and Mistress like, best I can do is Warlock Pact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like, let me introduce you to my friend.
Yeah.
This is a great old one.
Yeah, right.
Tiamat. She's like, what's the worst gonna happen?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that is the moment Tiamat would swoop in. You got some like jilted, potentially magical child in a city that's been warded specifically against your entrance. That's the one Tiamat would be like, hey.
I just kind of see
have crappy family.
I just see the Tiamat as the dark lady in her cloak, just going, well, just turn around the corner. Hey, how's it going?
I thought about being a cleric to a dragon queen.
But I did notice that despite it saying that Agaron was born under the sign of Mystra, it did actually say that he was a chosen of Mystra, which I thought was interesting.
Tracks.
Yeah. I feel like our canon's going real well now.
Yeah. I think that fits.
Yeah.
She does tend to choose powerful spellcasters and elevate them. So the guy who made Waterdeep into what it is seems like a good one to pick.
It's fair.
Or to say you picked after the fact and pretend it was all your job. So yeah, I mean, it could go either way.
So in 940, he was in the Troll Wars. I don't know what the Troll Wars are other than they fought trolls. Is there any other deep thing I need to know about that?
Not gonna lie, that is also what I know about the Troll Wars. That basically, Waterdeep gets attacked by trolls. And we've talked about before Waterdeep getting attacked repeatedly through the years by various forces.
All the things.
There are 3 troll wars.
I was about to say, that was the second troll war. which I feel like the troll wars either are going to end very, very quickly or very, very long. Like the first one, when they didn't know about acid and fire, you're like, Gak! And they're like, ah! And you're like, what? But by the second and third one, you're like, oh, it's the trolls again. Acid splash. Yeah.
It does sound like the first troll war is because the trolls are being displaced by orcs out of the Silver Marches. And then the second one seems to be pure trolls versus humans. And then the third one is when a couple of humans who are pissed off get the trolls and use them against Waterdeep because this worked before. But then it doesn't work anymore. So they did finally learn their lesson.
This all took place within like 30 years. Like the same people would have been very much alive for all of these events. That you're like, a third troll war? But even the trolls, you think would be like, hang on a second.
They're clearly not sharing knowledge. They're just, everybody's hoarding their own understanding. They're not, they're letting that tribal knowledge fail.
The first time I ever used trolls in my game was in 4th edition, and they were fighting them, and then they started healing, and one of my players who had told me he'd never played any kind of D&D or anything like that before goes, we have to hit him with fire or acid. And I'm shocked. I'm like, how did you know that? He's like, oh, it was like this game that I used to play, Baldur's Gate. And I was like, you played freaking Baldur's Gate as a kid? You've 100% played D&D.
Did know some stuff.
And I was like, you know what? Your character just knows that. It's fantastic.
You know, it's every time that comes up, and I'm sure you've heard this in some of our Black Dice Society edits, Trevor, that people be like, this is how we beat that thing. And I'm like, yeah, but does your character know that?
Exactly.
It's one of those
I'll
awkward spots.
Hey, I will be the first to give a survival or a nature roll. You know, I'm like, let's let the dice decide, because the fact that, you know, you broke that vampire and it turned to dust and is gonna go back to his casket to recuperate is just not something people sit around talking about in the tavern. It just isn't, you know. So
that's fair. That's fair.
There's moments where you're like, oh, can I make the survival roll? You roll it and it's like a 3, and you're like, okay, guys, I'm gonna use an ice spell.
Yeah. You're like, looks like we won. Huzzah.
This particular thing did come up in Dungeons Scrawlers, and I did make the roll, and I got to tell an elaborate story about how Cecilia was warned about the trolls in the forests of Rashomon. And it was quite entertaining times, because I know it is not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Todd Kendrick says, I feel seen in the chat.
Yep. I wasn't not talking about you, Todd.
So yeah, there was a couple troll wars, apparently. Troll Wars 3, this time it's personal. But essentially it seems like he rose to power by defeating a warlord. What the heck was that dude's name?
Rindor?
R'hllor?
R'hllor!
Yeah, it was a Murloc.
I would burn Waterdeep to the ground if there was a Murloc scourge. They cannot be. Which, you know, I realized we were talking Cthulhu mythos last week, but great old Murlocs are still adjacent. The terrible water people, the Murlocs are World of Warcraft, Koatoa. All of that. All of that, you know, they're coming out of the water with spears and they want to eat us. Yep.
Man, yeah.
Not a good time.
Nope. So I really did love this, because I was reading it. It's just like, okay, yeah, he fought the warlord. The warlord's gonna kill him. So Agaron turned his sword into a snake, and I just kind of stopped and went, as you do.
As one does.
And I will recommend everyone go to the Forgotten Realms wiki, because there is an artistic rendering of this, and it's beautiful.
And he doesn't just turn the sword into a snake. He turns it into a venomous snake, which bites the warlord, poisons him, and he dies.
As you do.
Especially because the warlord has the Swedish 70s porn stash too.
He does.
Like, he looks like he is about to, like, open for Foreigner.
He looks like he just got off the set of All in the Family. Like
100%. 100%. Like, he just rolled in on his motorcycle after a long shift at the shop and
waved by to Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, and just like holds his sword up, and Agaron's like, what if it was a snake? Yeah. Especially because Agaron already looks very old in that picture, although I think he shouldn't have been. He's like Steve Martin. He's one of those dudes that looked old early, and then
This is how you know you've got a wizard. There's 3 and they're already going gray.
Yeah. Yeah,
got a beard going.
Exactly. Like you're like 22 with like a belly button length gray beard. Yeah.
Although I will note that the wiki comments that he uses potions of longevity to remain in prime physical form, even though he was growing old by human standards. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe that's just what dudes looked like back in when
you either had the 70s stash or you looked like an old man. That was two moves.
Those are your choices. And he was like, I'm not working that mustache.
Well, if you saw those images that were floating around of like Tom Brady as a quarterback and that other dude that was a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in his 40s and looks 75. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Those were your options. You had Gandalf and in Leonard Skinner. Yeah. Those were your two cultural paths 500 years ago in Waterdeep. And those are valid paths. Those are valid paths, I'd like to say.
Oh, I just did the math. He's only like 40 in that picture.
Is he really?
That's what I'm saying.
I was trying to find out what DR that happened, but yeah, it was just.
Well, the third troll war is stopped in 963, and it says in 1007 he builds this tower outside Waterdeep, he's already kind of taken power. So it's in the 14 years between that. So he's about 40. He's completely bald and he has a white beard down to his knees. He has embraced. He has a look and he has embraced it.
Garwar says, "Look, constant stress can age a person."
He's been through some. He's been through some things by then. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that was an interesting one to learn, because when I first read that in 1007 DR Agaron constructed a wizard tower outside the walls of Waterdeep, I didn't know about that. And at first I was like, is that what becomes the Blackstaff Tower? But I guess it's something different.
That's one I'm not entirely familiar with the location.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be fair because, like, I could see it as being something that's not well known, because it's supposed to be his last resting place after he died. And it was what was the wording for it?
Lich phylactery.
The tower was sealed off with protection magic, and it was believed that his resting place remained undisturbed ever since. But yeah, no, totally.
Anything in a world full of adventures really undisturbed.
It's true.
Right. I feel like probably any place you go in, you're going to be like there's chip bags on the floor from the last people who came through here.
Yep. Chip bags and bones.
So wait, are you hypothesizing this D&D world so full of adventurers that it's just getting so littered with adventurers trash, like Everest with hikers?
I mean, so there's two variants of this, right? There's the idea that the world at your table is its own canon, it's its own self-contained thing, in which case, of course not. You're the greatest heroes in this world right now, so you, of course, are the first ones daring to breach the walls of Agaron's tower. However, if we lump them all together, if we build the multiverse collapse the multiverse on top of itself, of course you have to get a ticket to go in there. You have to pay a reservation in to get through Undermountain, because it's like Disneyland. It's just packed.
In my favorite, I actually played a game that was exactly that, by the way. You literally had to like book dungeon time.
Get the fast pass.
I love it.
But what I took from that is when you were like, it's like Everest, and I'm like, yeah, it's marked by corpses. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're like
corpses, poop.
Yep.
Food remains.
I didn't realize that
turned into corpse poop. Yeah.
Like that terrible multiverse version of the Forgotten Realms is just like an old style MMO. Everyone's gathered around the NPC to get the quest.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Where it's just like, it's as far as you can see off into the distance. It's just like everywhere. And then one person trains a monster on the city. Yep.
Correction, it was in 1032, so he was a little older than that.
Okay.
He's still kind of leaning into it then, but
I will say he's got a fantastic quote, though, that I really loved. There shall come a time when our city in its deep water bay shall grow in fame and fortune across many realms and many worlds. Folks shall know of Waterdeep, our city of splendors, and sing its praises. I have seen it thus, and I endeavor to make it true. That's from 1032. Yep.
Nice.
He's also
Agaron.
the other thing that he's known for. He's the one who came up with this masked lord system.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like we talked about before, where Waterdeep is ruled by a council of masked lords who wear these masks and these robes that hide their shape and their voice, and they govern Waterdeep without anyone knowing who they are.
I that actually reminds me, there was a great sentence in here that said, the system by which Waterdeep had been ruled ever since, except for a 6-year period immediately following his death.
I'm so curious about that 6-year period.
That's where we set the Real Housewives of Waterdeep.
That's true.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez. But yeah, like you were saying, Agaron used potions of longevity to remain in his physical prime. But it was interesting because eventually his health failed in 1256, and he died and was buried in his tower. That is actually I kind of liked that, because like most of them is like he was freaking killed by Hydra or something. This was just like, nah, he just died one day. Like,
so
here's the other problem. I know his tomb is not undiscovered, because if he just died and some people had to bury him, they super didn't keep it to themselves. They just didn't.
No.
So,
I think people know where it is, because it's like a tower, but it's like sealed off. Like they can't open the door. Or they have repeatedly. I did find in the timeline what's up with that 6 years. So basically Agaron dies and the masked lords don't know what to do, because they don't know who anybody is. And they're like, Agaron's the one that runs things, but he didn't set up a successor. So okay. And then people's identities start getting compromised, so they start getting murdered.
Oh,
right?
No.
So it's actually following Agaron's death, the only surviving masked lords were like 2 people, a woodworker and a wizard. So then the guilds take over.
I think we know our suspects.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Actually,
so then that 6-year period is called the Guild Wars, because the Merchants Guild's like, well, I think we're in charge of this. And it doesn't go very well.
I'm assuming that's where the open lord came back into vogue. I actually, so I typed in, I was going to look up Agaron's tower. I typed in Agaron, and immediately the first option was Agaron's tower. I'm like, well, that's creepy. But it turns out there is actually a 5th edition adventure called The Tower of Agaron, published by Wizards of the Coast in March 2019. I'm gonna have to look into this. I
know about that one.
More about
Told you, nothing ever stays hidden.
Oh, it was for D&D Adventure League. That makes sense why I haven't heard of it. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, totally 100% adventurers going in there and messing stuff up, as you do.
As one does.
Yep. Go ahead.
I was going to say also, you were talking about that the problem with having this be a world where you've got to like go book dungeon time and Undermountain and stuff is that creatures breed, they don't spawn. So I think past a certain point, either everything is cleared out and you go down there, and quite frankly, people would move into it. Like they'd make a Halloween superstore out of Undermountain. Everything is dead and we just got this space now. Or it is absolutely impregnable. Like, I mean, like the Mind Flayers and Beholders and in Umberhogs have it locked down. And to come like around the corner, Mind Blast, rocks fall.
There's this book by Diana Wynne Jones called The Dark Lord of Darkholm, which is like, there's this other dimension that's like a fantasy world, and this company that's run possibly by a demon brings tourists there and brings them through the quest, and so the inhabitants have to play the roles of the quest.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
in this version of Disneyland Undermountain, this is kind of what I imagine, that like they get killed and Halaster's like got like clerics there to like pop them back up for the next group.
Like,
it's a grueling job and they don't get paid enough, and they're trying really hard to unionize.
Yeah, a free death. No, I spoke over you. I apologize. But a free death ward for every goblin, you know? Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to write a dungeon now that's just a theme park for adventurers, but it's still like fully deadly. That sounds so much fun.
I mean,
they don't care if the adventurers die; they keep their money.
I'm like, is that not every adventure?
No, but like having the people in the dungeon like as like Disneyland cast members, where it's like someone dressed up as an Umber Hulk.
Yeah, it's like don't take the helmet off, no matter what. Even if you puke in it, don't take the helmet off. Yep.
Oh goodness,
that would be great. So the second person that we were going to talk about is Khelben. How do you say his last name? Aronson?
I say Khelben Aronson.
Aronson. Ooh.
But I have to admit, I say it right. Khelben Aronson.
Aronson. Yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable because it sounds like my name.
No, you're Erin.
And of course, that is only my name. Yeah, but
100%.
Yeah. So this is the first Blackstaff. This is Vajra's predecessor. He's named after the Blackstaff he carries, which has been passed down.
But it doesn't turn into a snake, though. Think about it.
It's not that great of a staff. I mean,
maybe that was like one of his one of his regrets. I never got my staff to turn into a snake, like Agaron.
Yeah, I actually hadn't ever clicked on the Blackstaff link itself because it was a staff that was made by Khelben. Carried the first black, selected a new Blackstaff every time he left Blackstaff. Wait, huh?
He also built Blackstaff Tower, which was originally called Aronson's Tower, but then he got this nickname.
Yeah,
it's like everybody calls you the Rock. It's really hard to shake that after a while.
Why would you want to?
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's roughly 7 feet long. Good God, that's a big staff. Oh yeah, I guess that does kind of check out. I have this little mini of Vajra. Yeah, no, that's a pretty big staff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the black halberd. Yeah, right.
You can cast things with it. You can wallop people with it.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
You can knock apples out of a tree with it.
You could make the tree grow apples with it.
You could make the tree grow apples, and then you use the staff to knock them down. It's perfect.
Yeah, you could turn a pear tree into an apple tree and make it actually useful.
True.
But what? I'm trying to figure out how to word this. What is like Khelben's backstory? Like, was he from Waterdeep?
That is a good question.
Oh, he was born in. Oh, wow, he was born in
414
DR.
Everybody lives forever when they're wizards.
Jesus.
Yeah. Until they apparently get old and die for reasons.
Yep.
Just cause.
I very much would have you crack open the tomb and Agaron's alive and well and was just tired of being around.
He's playing solitaire. Yeah, you're letting him in draft.
Captain Flowers on the wall. That don't bother me at all.
Are you the DoorDash guy?
Are you the DoorDash? No, I bet
you're about to be. Bang. Yeah.
You open up the door. It's like Harlan Williams and Rocket Man. He's just got sock puppets at this point.
Yeah.
So Khelben's from Drannor originally. He's a half elf. He is the first half elf born into this noble elven family.
Oh.
So it's awkward.
Well, real quick, what is Drannor? We've mentioned that place
Part of me is like, no, we need more topics. This might be a topic, but I guess we can just very quick go over. It's a city. It's an elven city. It's very old. It's it is in this Cormanthor. It was also called Cormanthor. It is the capital of Cormanthir.
Not confusing at all.
In the forest of Cormanthor.
Okay. I'm zooming in the Google Maps.
Yep. So it's this elven city. Right now it's ruins. Basically, its history was it is the capital of this ancient elven empire. It is this pinnacle of civilization. It's this beautiful city. It is primarily elven, but I believe in its ancient history, there's other people live there. Other types of people live there. And then it falls and it becomes a ruin, and it's full of demons and fairy, which are half elf, half demon. They're like elf tieflings. but with demons specifically. I think that it falls because someone makes a deal with demons. This is also something I would research more thoroughly if we were going to do the topic, because I don't remember.
We have tiptoed around it like multiple times.
Yeah. That's why I asked real quick. Like,
it's fair. I'm just like, I'm not going to do the best job. So in fourth edition, it was sort of revived. It is a functioning city again. It is no longer ruined. But then in the Sundering, we did mention this. They sacrificed the city to use the mythal artist or the mythal in it to crash the city of Shade and destroy Return Netherrealm.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's ruined again. There's still parts people can live in, but a lot of it is smashed up and full of dark magic and monsters.
Yeah,
so it's everything you could want.
It broke, it got fixed, then it got re-broke, but gloriously. Yep. Yep. Also, it like really took me a minute to like get my head around this, that Khelben was way older than Agaron.
Yeah.
But died after Agaron, but became a Mass Lord of Waterdeep. So, but was also a chosen of Mystra. So it was almost like, I wonder if Mystra was like, play with your little brother. He's done a good thing with the Mass Lords. He's done a good thing.
I love it.
Yeah,
you know, he does kind of have the older brother look to him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but he at least in his third edition artwork, he does look very stately. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a portrait I could see hanging on the wall of a haunted mansion.
Oh, 100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You put that in the background of a Castlevania game, no one would know.
Yeah, the eyes keep looking at you when you're walking by. Yeah. Except, you know, like when you turn and look at him and the eyes quit moving, you turn and look at him, the eyes are still looking at you. Yeah.
So he's also married to Laryl.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Who is the current Open Lord of Waterdeep.
Which is why we talked about him when we
power
talked about
couple.
Laryl.
Yeah. We touched on him briefly there about that. But he is unlike Agaron, chosen of Mystra.
Yep.
And which may explain his long life, but also wizard.
Also wizard. But I mean,
also, are you gonna die on? I mean, he did eventually die on Laryl, but
yeah, Laryl she's over 700 years old, but at least she's an elf. So, no, she's human too. No, she's
human.
Yeah, she's human.
I mean, she's also literally the daughter of Mystra, so it's a squishy human, like human.
So I was trying to scroll down to be like, okay, how did he die again? And then the first thing I see is second death. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's true. He dies before, and Mystra brings him back. Let me see. When does he rise to power and first death?
That is very much how I want my life story told, for the record, by the way. To abbreviated into like, well, the first time he died during the fourth Troll War.
You get two tombstones. The second one just says death 2. This time it's personal.
Exactly true.
Death 2 the Reckoning. There we go. We only yeah, there we go.
Death 3 has to be Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. So he dies fighting the Faerun, which are those magic-eating monsters, alongside his father. They run out of spells. It's a desperate thing, and his father does. It looks like he hits one magic item with another magic item, which causes an enormous explosion and a crater of glass.
That's amazing,
right? It's an epic way to go out. But then Mystra is like, no, do over, and now he's the chosen of Mystra.
I really quickly have to come in with this because what was this person's name? Dracoloth? Suggests 2 dead, 2 furious. Sorry, that one nearly got me.
I get.
But no, I always love the backup plan of like blowing up a magic item. Like my players, when they fought Teemo, I was like, okay, if it goes south, we throw the bag of holding in the portable hole. Like we end this.
Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Right. I've definitely had those moments where you're like, no one's going home. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Wait, hang on. I'm parsing NDAs right now. I will just say I was recently a part of a project that had an unthinkable DEFCON 1 option of literally everyone dies. And I was more than prepared to do it, by the way, where it was like, oh, we've lost this fight. Guess what? Everyone's lost this fight. Boom.
I do enjoy those.
Yep.
Like
everybody roll new characters. Yep.
Let's what I know there was a few things I'm forgetting about Khelben that are interesting. Because I mean, again, he's freaking Blackstaff. Like he built Blackstaff Tower. Set up this whole that was he was originally just called the Lord Mage of Waterdeep. And
again, I feel like Agaron then is like, and then where's Elminster during all this? Like, I imagine the three of them just mean girling each other. Like, oh, you're the Lord Mage of Waterdeep.
Elminster's like, of Waterdeep.
He's like, I'm Lord Mage of Mistra, your mom. Like, oh no, he was the first internet troll to be like, I'm gonna go be with your mom, and it was true.
Oh my god.
Imagine.
Oh my god, B-Day.
And Daryl just has to accept it. She's like,
Gracious.
That's Mean Girls.
He made a couple of spells though, didn't he? Like he like that was the thing. Like he kind of did all the wizard stuff.
Yeah.
Built a tower, made some spells, made magic items. Very much lived that life. I mean, how long did he live for? Good God.
960.
He was about to say almost 1,000 years.
Although he might not actually be dead, is the other thing.
Oh god dang it.
Again, are any of them?
It's all just a Marvel comic thing. It's like, oh, he died. Oh, I can't wait to see him again.
Even his wiki entry has first death and then the second death
is
in parentheses. I mean, between Mistra and Laryl, like, I mean, you don't get to just go. That, you know.
It's just like, hang on, I got another guy.
We're calling you back in. We're getting you off the bench.
You're coming out of retirement like Michael Jordan.
Now, okay, so you said that Khelben preceded Vajra. I thought that there were more black.
No, there's a lot more Blackstaffs. Yeah, there black staves, perhaps.
Black staves.
But he's the first.
Connecticut black stave.
The Connecticut black staves.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so but okay, so how long I'm trying to do sorry, you literally everyone just saw me do math in my head and that's why I looked pained. It's how I look while I'm DMing. So was there a time that like he was alive and wasn't the Blackstaff?
No. Oh, well, okay, when he's younger, before he gets the Blackstaff, before he comes to Waterdeep, before he makes a name for himself and gets this nickname of the Blackstaff, then yes, but he doesn't.
Okay.
It's when he dies, he passes it on to his apprentice, who I'm blanking on her name, so let me look it up really quick.
Yeah, there was a list of people down there at the bottom that all looked like they had similar black staves, but not the same.
Also,
they don't have her listed there.
Now there's multiple ones too, unfortunately. Like it's a Blackstaff, not even the Blackstaff.
Yeah, because okay, so there were multiple Lord Mages of Waterdeep, but he was the one that took on the name Blackstaff, and Vajra kept it up. Okay. It's all making sense now. I got it.
Yeah, the Lord Mage of Waterdeep title basically becomes the Blackstaff as a title. So the different. There we go. Okay, Sara. Sara is his apprentice, and she's his successor. She also wears an illusion, so she looks like him to start with, because she did not want to mess with people. Getting any ideas about like, oh well, Khelben's gone. Then we've got Kiriani Agravar, who is she is a Lord of Waterdeep as well. She is a half drow. She is available in the board game Lords of Waterdeep. I was like, I didn't realize she became Blackstaff later.
It is a great game.
Then his son, Khelben, which I'm probably
Krillin's
right.
Here. No wonder he dies.
The strongest man in the world, to say that. Sadly enough, he's our best and brightest.
We've got Ashamon, then Samark, and then Samark passes it to Vajra.
Okay.
Wait a second. Here's also two things. One, sorry that I've talked all over you today, Erin. I apologize.
It's okay.
Second,
we're all just excited.
It's true. We're very passionate about our black staves. But everything went wrong after Agaron died. But like Khelben would have been there, But I guess if he was the only one that knew who all the lords were, I guess that does express the problem with the Mass Lord Open Lord system. Yeah.
So Agaron dies in 1263.
Something like that.
It was he died in 1256.
See, the fortunate thing about having a
oh wait, no.
That's actually interesting.
Khelben died in 1374.
Oh, Khelben 1374.
No, but we're having Agaron. Agaron dies, everything goes bananas.
Yeah.
1256.
There you go.
So this does say in 1311 DR Khelben secretly returned to Waterdeep. But the previous thing that it says is that he arrived in Waterdeep and built Blackstaff Tower. And then at some point in there, he leaves. He does spend some time in Candlekeep, quote, posing as a cloistered monk. He does have a first wife who dies, and then he's real sad about it. So he goes and mourns away from public eye. And yeah, something happens in there. So he's not there when everything goes bad. Maybe this is why he becomes very dedicated afterwards and stays around living forever.
He's like, I left for 15 minutes, and by 15 minutes, I mean roughly 25 years, and everything went wrong. Yeah.
I did look it up because I was curious about this. He also founded Force Grey. Because I knew that that Force Grey or the Grey Hands worked for Waterdeep, and recently that I know of answered to the Blackstaff, but that's because the Blackstaff full on made that group.
I believe we talked about this when we were talking about the groups. This was like, it's funny because Khelben has been in the background like his portrait of so many. And now.
I was gonna say there's one other group he founded that's worth calling out. They're less important these days, but they were a pretty big piece in the second, third edition times, I guess. So Khelben was one of the Harpers for a long time. But he got kicked out because he made a deal with the Zhentarim. And so he's like, fine, I'm gonna start my own secret society. And so he founded the Moonstars.
You won't even know about it.
Okay. Well, we're getting towards the end of our show. It's time. We're going to check in with chat here in a little bit. But any last thoughts or things you want to talk about with Agaron or Khelben?
Do Google them both. The artwork alone is worth it.
100% agree. 100% agree. I'm definitely going to look at the Agaron's tower thing and see how extremely disrespectful these adventurers are going to be to this man's tomb.
Extremely.
All right, let's see what chat has going on. Oh god, literally the first one. Ryan Hayden comes in. I need an update. What about that AP of Real Housewives of Waterdeep? We'll see. We'll leave it at that. We'll see. We got to have some surprises.
I love V-Day's face.
I told y'all that would be a thing.
Okay. Prog Metal Gene says, "What is the correct pronunciation of Agaron?" I say Agaron, obviously. Let's see.
It is phonetic in the wiki. Agaron.
Yeah. So I'm pronouncing it wrong, like I pronounced tiefling wrong for most of my D&D career, but I'm just gonna keep saying it like that.
Did you call them tieflings?
Maybe.
What?
Maybe.
Treavor.
I mean, zone of safety. Zone of safety. We've all done things we're not proud of.
Yeah.
We love you and accept you.
I may have friends that refuse to still pronounce it the correct way.
Again, past a certain point, I am into blood so far come that to turn back would be as difficult as to continue over. Yes. Macbeth taught me that. Yes.
So what is it? Is it at Agaron? How did you say it again?
Agaron. AH space capital GAIR dash AWN. Agaron.
Agaron. Okay. Also, community management wise, trying to spell this man's name all last week, and I know there's 2 places I misspelled it, and I've just left it that way.
and then it's Khelben Aronson.
Yes.
Although that's a little easier, I think.
I feel like, Treavor, knowing that your name is spelled a little different, that you're kind of like, listen, Agaron, suck it up.
Yes, I've been through it. So shall you.
It's true. Yeah.
Good for your character.
Danimal Roar says D&D is more of a multiverse than Marvel. Yeah, sort of. Yeah. I mean, I definitely treat it that way. Every game I've ever participated in, I have as it being in a multiverse. So,
yeah. I mean, it kind of is. You know, like you're. This is no one's first rodeo.
Let's see. Stabagill the Kobold, still a fantastic name. Still a fantastic name. And that's how we got the Cult of the Dragon again.
Everybody stop being mean to Tiamat.
It's true.
It's just good life
Then
advice.
It is.
Then it wouldn't be the Cult of the Dragon, it would just be the Church of the Dragon.
It's true. It's true.
Hey, is this the cult? No, we just really love Tiamat a lot. Yeah, this is the cult.
I feel like every time she shows up and there's a Cult of the Dragon and they're like, we're the Church of the Dragon now, and their temple's not as big or nice as the Temple of Bahamut, she destroys it. She's like, no, this sucks. Blah. Be better. Do it like that. And then they have to start over again.
I buy it.
I really like this. Agent Anole says, maybe stop pissing off the trolls.
The trolls can get it.
The lesson they couldn't learn.
You notice there wasn't a 4th troll war, though, right? And there's still a Waterdeep. Yeah.
Oh god, I just imagine the scene from Liar Liar. They're like, Agaron, the trolls keep attacking us. He's just like, stop pissing off the trolls.
Yeah, they're gonna start showing up with more arms. That's when things get out of hand.
Ryan Hayden actually says there were 4 troll wars, but the last one was just feint attacks. They were just trolling. Well done, Ryan Hayden. Well done. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. This is a very similar one, but more obvious. Garwar says there's still an ongoing troll war in the city's Discord channel.
I mean, I feel like everything under the yawning portal is the city's Discord channel.
That sounds about right.
This is also a very good one. Agent Anole comes back and says, this is Catch 23 says, well, actually, the first Troll War trilogy was just episodes 4 through 6.
You have wounded me and pleased me simultaneously. I don't know. I can't parse these feelings.
That's true. Let's see. This is this is the person's name who I had trouble with. I'm sorry, Drycloth. I'm gonna go with that. I literally ran a campaign where the players were not the heroes. They were the maintenance crew preparing the dungeons for the next adventuring party. Oh, I enjoy that a lot.
That's delightful.
I actually there was a you got some there?
I was gonna say Marvel Comics has damage control, which is just that. That's what the story's about, where they come and fix everything after the superhero battles.
Nice.
When they did Tomb of Annihilation for the PAX games with Penny Arcade, I loved it because Chris Perkins, instead of having them do the Tomb of Annihilation had them go behind all of the traps and everything, and so they were like seeing the other side of it. And I totally stole that for my campaign because I had to rush the ending of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing the backstage ride mechanical version of this. It was really good. Let's see. J. Mike Unyielding. So the snake thing wasn't a natural property of the staff, but Vajra casts it every now and then. It's just like, and snake staff.
Yeah, I got it.
Mr. Blonde 42, is there something wrong with the pears in the Forgotten Realms? No, I just don't like pears. It was just purely a joke for me and me alone.
I mean, as Bill Burr refers to it, the most pretentious fruit.
Okay, Ryan Hayden says, question to last week's topic. So Alabaster Booty Clap is dead. That's totally canon now. Time for his memoirs. If you each had to contribute a sentence about him and his life, what would it be? He died as he lived.
He still died.
This is a family show, so he messed around and found out.
Yes.
Alcohol and summoning scrolls don't mix.
No. Cassius335 says, question, what's the weakest common speaking creature in D&D, and how many of them can you fight in one dungeon?
I mean, let's see, a fireball's 10 by 10, so you could pack a lot of pixies in 10 by 10.
That is true. That is
so
true.
Gracious.
It's the pixie apocalypse where they're all around their sacred thorn bush or whatever that they believe is impenetrable. It's just, oh, boom.
The Pixocalypse.
Yep. That's true.
Oh, Pixelips? I'm sorry.
Pixelips. That seems like a makeup brand.
It does.
But for gamers.
Catch-23 says, Agaron in his undisturbed tomb, you open the door, and he goes, finally, I've been locked in here for like a year. Why didn't anyone try and get this door open for like a whole year? Didn't you wonder where I was?
We're like, also, it's been like 200 years. And no.
I have no explanation for this one. I just enjoy it a lot. Cassius335 says, Death 4, why didn't I never learn chess?
Oh.
Yep.
Regrets.
At what point do you just give up and become a lich? You know, that you're all like, one way or another, this is the last death, dang it. Yeah. Maybe that's what Agaron's been doing in that tower all this time. Like, you crack it open and it's like, boom, lich. I had some time on my hands.
Oh, I really like this. Rex Verge says, so Krillin marries a Warforge? 100%. 100%.
1,000%. Yes.
Android 18, 100% a Warforge.
It's Dragon Ball Z jokes, and yes.
Oh,
I need to make that character now. Warforge monk. Oh.
That would be a great character. It's like I would make Vegeta, but he, there's not enough spell slots available. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Vegeta so much. I love that pathetic clown. I love Vegeta so much. Pathetic clown Kakarot. That's
true.
All I have to say.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, this one just made me chuckle, so I'll read it. Alias Bug says, so is there like, is this like the Power Rangers? There's a red staff, purple staff, green staff.
Which staff has the
there
heart?
Were.
Which one has the heart?
They summoned not even Captain Blackstaff, Captain
Prismatic.
Prismatic staff, I like it.
Captain Prismatic Staff, boom.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Heart.
I actually kind of really like that.
They all mock heart endlessly.
All right, I think that is gonna wrap up today's show. Erin, B-Dave, where can people find you and what awesome things are you working on?
You can find me on Twitter at Erin M. Evans. You can catch me on our podcast, writing about dragons and shit, talking about writing and fantasy with these guys. And you can watch me at 6:30 p.m. Pacific today on twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers. That's Wednesday for people who are listening on the audio. Yes. Tonight we are starting our new story arc, our new book, where we are facing off against a terrifying chronomancer who has apparently been up in our business mucking with the timeline. And she maybe murdered, maybe kidnapped my character's NPC boyfriend.
Oh.
So now and she got in my banishment dimension somehow, which I'm really pissed about. So that'll be interesting. So come check us out.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem's not getting into the banishment dimension. Plenty of people you want to get into the banishment dimension. The problem is if she figures a way out of the banishment dimension.
See, but I put Sarshan in there so she couldn't take him. And then she got in there. And that's the problem. And then, yes, she got out.
Wait, you banish your boyfriend to keep him safe?
He was bleeding. So you just like banish him. And then, yeah. No, listen, it was a tense moment.
It was a whole thing.
We may have house rolled the banishment spell just a little bit.
All right.
Because
hope,
I did story things and got excited.
I just hope there's oxygen in the banishment dimension because there's not any in a bag of holding.
It's not a bag of holding. Even if you do it, rules as written, you're just incapacitated
somewhere else. Yeah, and you come back
in an ice cave
in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But you're supposed to come back in like a minute, unless he's not from this plane, and then he goes back to his home plane.
Yep.
Well, I hope it works out. Yeah.
What things do you have going on,
Dave?
You know, B. Dave Walters, super down to be sent to Aaron's banishment cave. Follow me on the tweetagrams at B. Dave Walters. I do stuff all over the place, but that's it. Yeah.
What's going on Thursday?
But to say, if I just vanish, I'm in check Aaron's banishment cave. Yeah, I'm not in the wizard tower. I'm in the banishment cave. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, D&D Twitch and YouTube for the Black Dice Society. Tuesdays, Heroes of the Plains on Demiplane Twitch. Sundays, Gex Pack on GaryCon Twitch. I'm leaving something out. I will just say that the Black Dice Society has the hunkiest podcast producer ever.
Who could he be?
It's a Treavor.
You can find me on the Difficulty Class podcast every Friday, as well as on my Twitter at the Treavor. There's an A hiding in there, and I did totally remember to actually post this week's episode for writing about dragons and shit. So there's a new one right now. Also, this Sunday, I will be doing a fundraising stream with Lee Goldberg of Grill Champions fame, and we're gonna be doing a fundraiser to help raise money to support him in his big move that he's got going on, and that will be happening on my personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thetrevor. There is an A hiding in there again. Thank you to Jay for moderating in the chat as always, and thank you to Codename Entertainment for letting us have some fun and talk about D&D. If you missed any part of the show, you can catch it later in its podcast form at 2 p.m. And if you have any suggestions for future topics related to Idle Champions that you'd want to hear us talk about, send those in to championsoflore@codenameentertainment.com. Let's see. Today we have Mars's Guiding Hand happening at 1 p.m. and then the Sketching Hour at 3 p.m. So we got plenty of fun shows for you to stick around for. I hope you come and join because they're just so good. Get some tea with Mars and see whatever wild thing they're gonna draw in Sketching Hour. Last week was grumpy giant bunny spiders, and
they're so cute.
And I was so conflicted. I it was adorable, but I also have massive arachnophobia.
No.
So I was divided. But that is gonna do it for this week's episode. So until next week, Champions out.